concern or interest among the some respondent. तेरे को कैसे पता है कि नॉन अवेलेबिलिटी हो गई होगा? Some respondent refused to answer due to time constraints. Collected Welcome to Teaching Learning session. Today we'll discuss about managing brand equity. Right. Launching a brand with a clear brand identity and positioning is one of the very first step in building the brand equity. Right. We discussed about the brand equity. What is brand equity? We discussed all these things in our previous lectures. So, while you are launching a brand with a clear brand identity and while you are positioning your brand, this is the first step in building the brand equity. What is the brand equity? That is the position of your brand in consumer's mind is the brand equity, right? How whether the consumer remembers or knows about your brand or not, that is the brand equity. That is the position of your brand in the mind of the customer is brand equity. And this creating a brand is first step in building a strong brand equity. How you launch a brand? What is a brand? Brand is nothing but it could be a logo, text, or a combinations of picture or a combination of many things, right? Which distinguishes your product or your brand from the competitor's brand. That is the brand, right? Acker has defined the brand equity as a set of assets and liabilities linked to the brand's name and the symbol that adds to or subtract from the value provided by the product or services to a firm or that of the firm's customers. That is the brand equity, right? Brand equity is what the assets or the set of assets equity, right? Or it could be liability tools linked to a brand name, the assets linked to the brand name, symbols that adds to or that subtract from the values provided by the product or the services to a firm or the firm's consumers, right? These assets which adds value and create equity includes the brand awareness, perceived quality, brand association, brand loyalty, and other proprietary brand assets. See, as the Acker suggested that the set of assets linked to the brand names and these assets, right, which adds value to create an equity, right, which the assets which helps in creating an equity or which helps to create the presence in the mind. Brand equity is what the presence of the brand in the mind of the consumer is brand equity. So the assets which helps in creating or positioning a brand in the mind of consumer includes the brand awareness, whether your customer is aware about the brand, the perceived quality of the brand association, brand loyalty, and other proprietary brand assets. Right? Each of these aspects of brand equity needs to be managed and strengthened to enhance the brand equity. All these aspects, whether it's a brand awareness, whether it's brand perceived quality, whether it's brand association, whether it's brand loyalty or other brand assets, all these plays a very important role in brand equity, and it is required that all these aspects should be managed and strengthened to enhance the brand equity and thereby the value generated for the brand's customers and the firms. It is required that all these aspects should be strengthened enough, should have given proper attention so that it could increase the brand equity. Right. See, brand foundation, there are the two things, that is the authenticity and believability. These two factors plays a very important role in brand equity. What is authenticity? Authenticity implies that the brand remains true to its purpose and true to its promises. That is the authenticity, right? What is the authenticity? That brand is authentic. Whatever brand has promised, that brand is delivering those promises. That is the authenticity, and this authenticity creates a relationship, a trust relationship between the marketer or and the consumer. So it implies, the authenticity implies that the brand remain true to its purpose and its promises. A brand is, after all, defined as a promise to the customer, and this promises has to be real and true. So whatever promises the brand is promising to the customer, that brand should stand true to those promises and to those promises. Today's customer care about the brands that care. Gone those days when customer might have purchased anything. Today in today's era, the customer care about only those brands who take care of the customers, and they are quick to reject the fakes. Lip service to cause is not acceptable, and the brand has to embody its purpose and values in everything it does. So only by saying, only by through the lip services, your purpose cannot be solved. So it is very important that you should make the authenticity, that you should deliver whatever marketer has promised. Authenticity can be significant differentiator for the brand, right? Because it increases the level of trust for a brand, right? Believability. Next important aspect which one should take care of, that is believability. It implies the promises a brand makes to the consumer has to be meaningful and believable. Right. It is, first thing is authenticity, that whatever promises you are making should be fulfilled, right? And believability, whatever promises you are making or the marketer makes to its customer has to be practical, meaningful, and believable. Should not make any of the promises which one could not believe. There has to be strong reason to believe for the claim that the brand is making, right? That reason to believe could be rational or emotional, right? Whatever you are making, the promises, whatever promises you are making should be believable, should be meaningful, should be believable, and there should be reason to believe. There should be a strong reason to believe, right? And for the claims of brand is making, an RTB could be rational. This reason to believe could be rational, or it could be emotional. I could believe in a brand because of ingredients, right? Or belief in brand's capability could be result in brand heritage or the country of origin. So this a reason to believe in brand could be because of its ingredients, right? Or it could be because of origin, that is the country of origin, right? Like if something electronic is coming from the Germany, right? We do trust that brand, whatever the product is, or whatever brand that German product, that in electronic items, especially in car segment, that German cars or the electronic items are the best, right? So it could be because of the country of origin. It could be because of the brand's capabilities, right? That is, brand capabilities could be a result of brand heritage, right? So there should be a reason to believe whatever promises you are making to the customer or marketer is making to the customer. Those promises should be authentic, right? And should be believable, right? Authentic means that you should be able to keep your promises, and believable means that those promises either should be rational, meaningful, or believable. And reason to believability could be because of the rationality of the promises, or it could be because of the emotional approach. So it is very important, right? The believability could stem from the past customer delight and the brand image. And this reason to believe could be because of the past customer experiences, or it could be because of the brand's image. The believability strengthens or weakens over a time with actual customer experiences. This believability can grow and can go down, right? According to the experiences of a customer over a period of time. If the brand does not match up with the expectation, it starts to lose the trust. And believability is as much to do with the actual reality of the brand offering as it has to do with the perception. So brand credibility and desired association need to be built over a period of time. So it is very important that one should have a belief on the brand, and this believability is very important. It plays a very important role. How can you enhance the level of brand equity? All right, there are many elements which enhances the brand equity, right? That is selecting and managing the brand elements, delivering the brand promises and maintaining the differentiation, building desired association with customer engagement and deepening the emotional connect and building brand advocates. All these are the levels which enhances the brand equity, right? The first is selecting and managing the brand elements, right? It is very important that you should select and manage the brand elements, right? It helps in enhancing the brand equity, delivering the brand promises and maintaining the differentiation, building the desired association and customer engagement, and deepening the emotional connect, right? Let us discuss each and every level one by one. Selecting and managing the brand element. Brand elements refers to, as we know, what are the brand elements? Brand elements refer to the logos, text, symbols, character, and social media handle, and many other things which helps to identify and differentiate the brand, right? So brand is made up of many elements. These elements could be these elements could be logos, it could be the text, it could be the symbols, it could be the characters, it could be the social media handle, or it could be the combination of two or more elements, and these elements helps to identify and differentiate the brands, right? And these brand element can help to make the brand noticeable and memorable, thereby building awareness and recall. Right, so it is very important, and these brand elements at times we remember the logo, right? That logo attracts, right? By seeing that logo, we come to know, oh, this is that. This is logo of that particular brand, right? Amul, right? If you see that girl, a small girl, seeing the picture of that girl, what reminds you that what comes in your mind is Amul, right? It could be a slogan. Brand element could be a slogan, right? That neighbor will envy you, right? That is, whenever it comes in your mind, it reminds about LG, right? So all these brand elements helps to make the brand noticeable. These logos, symbol, text, right? Handles, slogans, all these or the taglines, all these makes the brand and noticeable and memorable and differentiated from the other brand. All these things make the brand noticeable, memorable, and thus it create or build the awareness and the recall, right? uh, that these brand elements, there are certain characteristics which are required, that these brand elements should be memorable, right? That is, if these brand elements are memorable, then it should helps the easy recognition and recall, right? Should be memorable, it should be somewhat like that one could memorize it, right? It should be memorable, so that one could, it helps these brands elements can help in recognition and recall. Then these elements should be meaningful, should enhance the relevance and helps in persuasion, right? So these elements should be meaningful, and when these elements are meaningful, this helps in the relevance. It increases the relevance of the brand and helps in persuasion. It should be likable, should be warm, fun, pleasing, and invoking a positive response. It should be likable, should be transferable, should be applicable across the range of product represent, but a brand should work equally well in different geographies, right? It should be transferable. Transferable means what? That these elements should be applicable across a range of product, right? Whatever your product line, it should be applicable to the range of product or to the product lines and represented, but the brand should work equally well in different geographies. But what is important is that they should work well in different geographies. Adaptable should be possible to update or changed context. So it should be adaptable if required. If there is change in this scenario, it should be changed with context. And protectable should be legally protected. These brands should be legally protected. There should be no legal hassle should be there, right? So these brands should have these brand elements should be memorable, so it helps in recalling and creating the awareness, right? It should be transferable, right? Should be applicable to the all product range, but all product range should do well, right? It should be likable, right? It should be those elements should be funny, should be pleasing, should be warm, and should invoke a positive thinking or a positive response. Should be meaningful. Those brand elements should be meaningful, and so these meaningful means that helps in relevance and persuasions, right? And adaptable should be possible to update the changing context, and should be protectable, should be legally protected. Next level is delivering on the brand promises and maintaining the differentiation. It is important that whatever promises the marketer or brand has made, they should deliver those promises, and that it is required that brand should maintain a differentiation from the competitors. Delivering on the brand promises is non-negotiable, right? There should be no compromises on the promises, right? If you want to make the trust and the quality perception of the customer, if you want to create a trust among the customer, if you want to create a positive perception about the brand, then this brand promises, delivering the brand promises is non-negotiable, that the marketer should deliver the promises, made promises to the customer, right? This is necessary step in building the brand equity in order to build the differentiation and maintain the consistency of a brand, right? So if you want to differentiate yourself from the competitors, as well as if you want to maintain the consistency of a brand, it is required that you should deliver the promises, right? Whatever promises the brand has made, they should deliver the promises, right? And you can deliver the promises to ensure that putting system and processes in place to deliver the brand promises. If you want to deliver the promises, it is required that you should put the system and processes in the place, that then only you can deliver the processes. Otherwise you cannot deliver the promises. And ensuring the seamless customer experiences, right? Through these two things, you can deliver your promises, as well as you can differentiate yourself from your competitors, right? That is by putting system and processes in a place, right? As well as ensuring seamless customer experiences, right? Putting system and processes in place means what? The key building and sustaining brand over a period of time is to ensure that deliver that the brand delivers exactly what it promises in each and every interaction with the customer, because this the promises you made should be delivered, and this delivery of promises is non-negotiable, right? So it is important, if you really want to sustain in the market over a period of time, then it is required that you should deliver the promises, right, to the customer. Each brand occupies a unique space in the customer's mind, and therefore, not only does the brand need to be consistent in delivery of its promises, it also needs to ensure consistency of the promises, right? Because each brand has its place in the mind of the customer. That is what the brand equity is. If you want to enhance your brand equity, or if you want to increase the position in the mind position in the mind of the customer, then it is required that you should keep your promises, right? And you should keep your promises consistently, and also need to ensure the consistency of the promises should be there, and you should make the promises which could be which could be believable, and you should keep those promises. Strong brand do not keep changing their positioning or messaging frequently, right? If you want to build your brand as a strong brand, it is required that you should keep your promises and should not change your promises frequently, or you should not change your position and messages frequently, because if the brand changes the messaging or positioning frequently, it has negative impact on the it will have a negative impact on the brand, right? Then it will impact the trustworthiness of the brand, right? So it is important that a strong brand do not, remember this thing, that strong brands do not change their positioning and messaging frequently. So whatever you have delivered, whatever you have promised, then it is required that you should keep those promises, right? Take an example of Amazon, right? Amazon is able to capture a large market because the Amazon has put its processes and the system in the place, and they delivered what they promised, right? And then the ensuring a seamless customer experience is another thing which impacts the brand equity. That is providing an end-to-end seamless perfect experience for a customer has to be one of the most important goals for the brand, that the customer experiences matter a lot, right? If the customer experience is positive, it will impact the brand positively. If the experience of the customer is not that good, then it will impact the brand negatively, right? The mantra is not to look at what brand is designed to offer, but instead to look at how customer consumes the brand and where it fits into their life. So it is important that one should understand the needs and requirements of the customer and should adapt according to the requirements and the needs the of the customer, and should the brand should try to adapt itself as per the requirements of the customer, and should try to fit into the life of the customer. So when a brand tries to fit into the life of the customer, then it could provide a seamless positive experience to the customer. So a mantra is not what brand is designed to offer. That is what brand is designed to offer is not important, but design your brand or design the product as per the requirements of the customer, or your product or your brand should fit into the life of the customer. When your brand fit into the life of the customer, then this will give a positive experience or seamless positive experiences to the customer, and it will enhances the brand equity, right? Third point, to increase the brand equity is building desired association and customer engagement, right? So it is important that you should have a association with the customer, right? And you should be able to engage the customer. For brand to sustain its differentiation and relevance, it needs continuously work at the building and strengthening the brand association. If you really want to sustain in the market for a longer time, if you want to differentiate yourself, your brand from the others, and if you want to keep your brand relevant in the market for a longer duration, then it is required that the you should build you should build and work continuously to strengthen the brand association with the customers. This can be done through the customer experiences, provided brand images, messaging, or use of influencer. How could you that is how could you increase the association, or how could you build the association with the customer through you can do it through the customer experiences, right? Through customer experiences, if the customer is happy with the brand, if the customer has a positive experience with the brand, it helps in building the desired association. Through customer experiences, it could be with the help of brand images, right? It could be with the help of messaging you are delivering, right? Or it could be with the help of influencers or many other ways. So it is important that you should maintain or build up desired association and the customer engagement. Building the right association in line with the desired positioning and brand values helps in creating a positive evaluation and brand preferences through strengthening of functional, emotional, and self-expressive benefits. Right? How could you increase the bonds? Right? How could you strengthen the bonds or the association? That is building the right association in line with the desired positioning and brand values helps in creating a positive evaluation when you have a right type of association with the customer, right? Or when you have a right desired positioning in the mind of the customer, it helps in positive evaluation about the brand. It helps in the positive evaluation of the brand and the brand preferences, and this strengthen the functional and the emotional and the self-expressive expressive beliefs or the benefits. In order to do so, a brand must find a clear and kind of association it wishes to build and a kind of touch of point which can be used to convey these ideas and experiences to customer. So it is very important that if you want to create an association, a positive association in the mind of the customer, or a positive association with the customer, right? It is very important that brand should know how to create an association and what are the touch point which can be used to convey the messages and ideas and experiences to the customers, how they could convey the message or how could they position themselves in the mind of the customer, what could be the touch points which can be used to convey the messages to the customers, right? Right, example, say for example that Taj Mahal tea brand that was launched in 1966 by Unilever was positioned as a premium tea brand. They positioned themselves as a premium tea brand, and in order to build this association, they decided to leverage the classical music and used a well-renowned the classical musician to bring alive the exhilarating taste of the Taj Mahal tea. So this is how they created an association with the brand, right? With the customer. That is, the Taj Mahal tea. They launched a brand, the Taj Mahal tea, in 1966, and they. In order to build the association, they decided to leverage the classical music, and this is how they associated with the customers. Similarly, another example could be Surf tried to enhance its customer connect by going beyond the functional space. What is the functional space of any detergent? That it cleans, right? The main aim of any detergent is cleansing, right? That it goes beyond the functional aspect or the functional space, right? For better cleansing of a connect, and they connected it to the customer life, and then they that Surf connected to the connected with the customer emotionally, right? And the brand celebrated these stains with the campaign Daag Achhe Hain, right? For this, they use kids, and they try to convey the message that kids should that kids should not be restricted. They should have given the opportunities to explore the world, even if their clothes get dirty, and if their clothes get dirty, Surf is there to take care of those stains. Don't worry about the those stains, and leave your child to explore, right? Don't confine them because of the. This is how they created a image in the mind of the customer. They created an association with the customer through Daag Achhe Hai. By their tagline that Daag Achhe Hai, it has created an image, and this now the surf that that surf has gone beyond the functional aspect of that product. Right, the functional aspect of product is cleansing, right? So rather than saying that, they explore, they use the kids, right, to convey the message that there is a cleansing agent which can rinse your clothes or which can clean your cloth, right? And let your child be innovative and explore the world without any hesitation, without any fear of stains in their mind. Surf is there to take care of all those things. This is how they created, they positioned themselves in the mind of customers. This plays a very important role, right? That is, this is how they created an association with the customers and engage the customers, right? There are ways to build the desired brand association, right? How can you build the desired brand association? Through the product or the service design. It includes the packaging, right? So at times we purchase certain products because of the packaging or because of the design, especially during festive seasons, right? Or the imagery and the brand messaging. Through the images or through the brand messaging, we create an association. And the brand activity platform, through brand activity platform, we create a desired association with the customers. How could we create a association with the customer? Through product or the service design. The aspect largely relates to the performance of the product but also contributes to the brand perception, right? On other aspects such as the premiumness, usage, occasion, etc. Right? See, usage is important. That is, performance of the product is important, right? That is important, right? But you can create a perception of intent on other aspects. Like if you own that product, if you have that product, that gives a feel, that gives a feelings of premiumness, or how the occasion of usage, how can you, when can you use those products or the or things, like. So product designs or the service design plays a very important role in association, right? At during festive season, right, we usually buy, we usually get attracted by the design or the packaging of the product, and we end up buying the product, right, which buying the product which attracts us because of their packaging or because of the design, right? Or like example, the Cadbury shifted its association from purely chocolate category to the gifting category through design of a special gift pack for different occasions, right? This is packaging attracts us, right? At time, right? So rather than that example is Cadbury associates itself with the customer through packaging. They shifted themselves from pure chocolate category to the gifting category, that you can gift the chocolates to your loved ones on different occasion, right? They created a different gift packs for different occasions, right? The layout and the structure of shopping websites and the kind of product or the services offered influences the consumer perceptions of the brand, right? At times the layout of the website plays an important role, right? Or the display of the products or the services, right? Especially the products, right? They offer influences the consumer perceptions of the brand, right? Like example is Amazon is perceived as trusted and value for money shopping portal. It's very easy because Amazon always keeps promises. They deliver their promises. Amazon delivers their promises, and the Amazon make the promises which are believable. They are easy to believe. That's why right? Amazon is performing better than many other sites, right? Then imagery and brand messaging, then images and the brand messaging plays an important role in brand equity, right? Brand imagery relates to more intangible aspect of the brand, the use of the certain colors, visuals, type of users, purchase situations, values, heritage, experiences reflected in the brand's communication help to build a desired mental image of the brand, right? So this plays a very important role. The use of a specific color, it plays a very important role. At times we get attracted by the color. Visuals plays a very important role, right? It creates a image in the mind of the customer, right? A type of the users, it plays a very important role or conveys the brand message, right? Or the purchase situations, or the heritage and the experiences. These all things helps the brand to communicate the desired mental image of the brand. Brand imagery and personality are very important in certain categories like perfumes, cars, where the brand is often a means of self-expression or for the consumer to present a desired image. So brand imagery plays a very important role, specifically products like perfumes or cars, where the brand is often a means for self-expression, right? And this image plays a very important role specifically for the luxury brands. It is true for the luxury brands where the choice of brand is more on the basis of how closely the brand's image matches the self image or the desired image of the customer. So this brand imagery or the brand messaging plays a very important role specifically for the luxury brands because it creates an association, or it relates how closely the customer can associate itself with that brand, right? So because it that the because it creates, because it delivers that how closely the brand image matches the self image or the desired image of the customer. So it plays a very important role. And the brand activity platform, creating an association with events and activities which reflects the brand's personality, also as building the desired association. So various type of activities conducted by the brands, it helps in creating a brand association, right? Like Femina Miss India uh, strengthens the perception of Femina as a brand for women of substance, right? So Femina Miss India, this creates a brand Femina, right? It strengthens the brand, it creates an association. The choice of activity platform for brand should be based on the ability to reinforce the desired benefits or image, its level to appeal with the target customer. Right, what type of activities one should choose, it depends on the brand's benefit, right? It depends on, it should be based on the ability to reinforce the desired brand benefits, what all benefits we'll get from the brands, right? Or the image of the brands, or the appeal with the target customer, who all are your target customer, that the activity depends on the target customer. And ability to cut through the competitive clutter and giving visibility to the brand, it depends on the competition, it depends on the uh, target customer, it depends on the desired brand benefits. So brand activities plays an important role in creating a association, right? There are steps for building the brand equity, and Keller's, this is the Keller's brand equity model, right? First is salience, that is identity. First step is identity. Who are you? It gives First step to make a brand, building a brand equity is salience, that is the identity. It is important that first step that you should start making a brand. Then second is meaning, what are you, that is performance and imaginary. Whether your performance and imaginary is how you position yourself, how you whether you are deliver what you are, whether you are authenticative or believable, and what are your image, how you create your image. Then the third step is response, that is response includes your judgment and the feelings. Judgment and feelings is what is there, what is consumer perceptions and feelings about your brand. And the fourth point is resonance, that is relationship, what about you and me. How then relationships, that is when you are in the mind of the people, how you create an association or relationship with the customer. So this is the steps for building the brand equity. The first step is alliance, that is identity. First thing is make your identity. The second step is meaning, right? That is whether you, how you are performing, and what is your how you portray your brand, what is the image of your brand. Third is the responsiveness, that is how the customer judges about your brand or feels about your brand. And then the relationship, that is how you make an association with the brand. This is a relationship, right? So this is the brand equity model, and this brand equity model was given by the Kellers. This is known as the Kellers brand equity model. How can you measure the brand equity? This is how we can build a brand equity, right? Brand equity is what, that is we are trying to capture the prime position in the mind of the customer. That is the brand equity, right? So how we can measure the brand equity, whether we have captured that position in the mind of the customer or not. How can we measure that, right? Measuring and how can it help the organization. Measuring brand equity can help an organization understand if their brand strategy and spends are in the right direction, right? So it is important that to measure the brand equity, so that the organization could come to know whether their strategy and their spendings are in the right direction, they are going in the right direction or not. It can also helps in planning future brand strategy and identify the optimum ways to invest in building a strong brand. So first is the first objective to understand, to measure the brand image is whether the strategies and the spendings are in the right directions. And the second is it helps in planning the future brand strategies, right? Future brand strategies, and to identify the optimum ways to invest in building and strong brands. It is important to understand what space a brand occupies in the heart and the mind of the consumer. It is very important. That is what the brand equity, right? So it is important that how what space a brand occupies in the heart and the mind of the consumer. How strong is the brand awareness, right? What are their thoughts, feelings, and association towards the brand? Insight into how well the brand is known and what it is known for can help the marketer to make the strategic changes which can lead to a better success of the marketplace. Why it is important to measure? Right, it is important to measure so that you can make up whether your strategies are going in the right direction, your investments are going in the right direction, and what should be your future course of action, right? And it is important to measure. It is important to measure the brand equity because only then the organization could understand what position or what space the brand occupies in the mind and the heart of the customer. Whether they are aware, whether the customers are aware about the brand, and how strong that brand awareness is. See, only being aware about the brand is not enough. The brand awareness should be strong enough, and how strong that brand awareness is. What are the thoughts, feelings, and association of the customer with the brand? What they feel about the brand? What is their how they, whether they are associated with the brand or not, right? So all this insight helps the brand to know whether they are going in the right direction, or if it is required to make some strategic changes, right? To measure the brand equity, we need to measure the components like brand awareness, whether they are aware about the brand and how strong that brand awareness is, perceived quality. It is required that we should measure the perceived quality of the brand, then the brand association, how the customer associate with the brand, then the brand loyalty and the other proprietary brand assets. It is required to measure all these aspects if you want to measure the brand equity, right? Measuring elements of brand equity, first is brand awareness. Brand awareness indicates if brand is recognized and recalled by its target customer, right? If they are that is, if the customer, the target customer is can recognize the brand and can recall the brand, right? So it is important if they can recognize the brand or if they can recall the brand, then it is important. Brand recognition, what is brand recognition? The brand recognition implies that the customer is familiar with the brand due to prior exposure to the brand, right? Because they might have used that brand, so they are familiar to the brands, right? However, on its on brand recognition is not much value, as mere familiarity doesn't mean that customer has any knowledge about the brand, right? So only recognition doesn't means a lot, because recognition doesn't mean that the customer have a knowledge about the brand. Recognition is that they are familiar, customer is familiar about the brand. Yes, I heard about that brand, I have not used that brand, but I have heard about that brand, or I have seen the picture or the advertisement of that brand. That is the brand recognition, and it is not that important, right? Because because it could be the customer might not have the knowledge about that brand. What is more relevant is brand recall. Brand recall is very important, right? Recognition and recall. When the customer is able to recall the brand in the context of its category, right? That is, brand awareness can be looked upon the strength of the brands present in the customer's memory, right? So it is very important that recognition is not only important but recall is important, right? When customer is suppose a customer wants to buy a bottle, right? Then then that customer should be, if customer is able to recall your brand at that time, it plays a very important important role at that time. So more relevant is recalling, right? When a customer is able to recall the brand in the context of its category, right? So it is very important, and brand awareness can looked upon the strength of the brands present in the mind of the customer, or in the customer's memory, right? How that brand, whether that what type of a position that brand has in the mind of the customer, right? Then second important aspect of to measure the brand equity is the perceived quality. Perceived quality refers to the consumer perception of overall quality as compared to the intended purpose, and compared to its alternative and substitute. So perceived quality is what? Perceived quality is the perception of the customer, right? Perception of overall quality of the brand as compared to its intended purpose, as well as the competitor. When they compare it with the alternatives or the substitutes, right? Or what perception consumer have about that brand, about the quality of that product, right? The quality here refers not the objective quality or the manufacturing quality, but if refers to the customer perception of quality, right? It refers to the perception of what is the perception of the customer about your brand when at when to a particular context, to a particular um, purpose, for a particular purpose, as compared to its alternative or the substitute. When the when what is perceived quality means, that is when the customer compare your brand with the alternative brands or the substitute, what is the perception of the customer at that time, that is the perceived quality, right? If the customer have a positive perception about your brand over the alternatives or the substitute, then your brand equity is stronger enough, right? Then the brand perceived quality can be measured through one of the following, that is customer satisfaction studies. You can measure the perceived quality through customer satisfaction, whether the customer is satisfied with the brand or not, through performance rating, right? Or through current usage, that is the brand and the category, or through intention to use. The last two, that is the current usage and intention to use, are more indirect and the supporting indicator, as the customer is likely to use or inclined to use a brand only if it is of acceptable quality, right? That is the current users, the brand and the category and intention to use. They are using it, they are ready to use it, or they have intention to use it, they are likely to use it or inclined to use that brand or purchase that brand if they may, if they deliver their promises. So you can measure the perceived quality through all these things. Next important aspect to measure the brand equity is the brand association. What is brand association? The association which customer holds for a particular brand contributes to the brand images they carry in their mind, right? Association, as we discussed, what is the association? That is, association is what association is the customer hold for a particular brand contributes to the brand images they carry in their mind, right? What a customer think about that brand, that is the brand association. One can elicit these association by asking customer what they think or feel about a particular brand, or one can also take an existing set of association and test how strong or weak that brand is with customer. So brand association is how the customer feel about that brand, or what is the how the customer uh, what is the image of the brand, what is the image of the brand in the mind of the customer, that is the brand association, right? Eliciting the brand association, various qualitative techniques can be used to understand what the customer associate with a given brand. Free association, it could be free association. Free association means what? That ask a customer what comes in your mind when you think a given brand, right? This is the simplest method, but sometimes may be able to generate only a limited association, as the customer themselves may be consciously aware of all association, may not be consciously aware of all association. This is the free association, right? Ask to the customer what comes in your mind when you think about that brand, right? Right. So this is the free association, right? So this generate only a limited association, because might be customer might not be aware about, or the might not be consciously aware of all the association. Then picture interpretations, pictures of different people or animal or situation can be shown to the respondent, and they can ask to select one which they feel are representative of brands in this some way, right? By asking them why they think or make them to choose a particular picture, they can get an understanding what they associate with the brand, right? So through picture interpretation, you can elicit the brand association. Description of the brand user, asking the people to describe the typical brand user, also gives insight of the brand association, right? That is, describe the brand or describe the typical, asking people to describe the typical brand user. That decision process and value driven of the brand choices, the detailed dissection of the how customer arrived at the brand choices, their rationale and evaluation are also effective way of generating insights. So through all this we can come to know about the, also through all these methods we can come to know about the association, that is the customer association. And the description of the brand personality is important. Asking respondent to describe the brand as a person, right, is a powerful way to elicit the brand association, right? This helps to describe the softer, more intangible aspect of the brand, right? Next is the brand. Next important thing, important aspect which plays a very important role is the brand loyalty, right? Brand loyalty commanded by the brand is a key contributor to the value of brand bring to the firm. It is very easy to capture the new customer, but it is very difficult to retain the old customer. And if your customer is loyal, then the then it plays a very important role in business, right? So customer loyalty is a key contributor to the value of brand, right? And this is a key contributor, and this contributes a lot to the value of the brand, right? Over a time of the brand strategy is to try the strengthen the ties of local or committed customer to the brand, as well as fence sitters. Loyal customer tend to buy the brand repeatedly and prefer it over other brands. If customer is loyal, they tend to buy the brand over and over, and they prefer their brand over other brands. Repeat purchases and continued purchases are important, right? Because it brings the business, and the trial rate and the preferred brand, these all are the aspects through which we can measure the loyalty, right? Framework for brand equity measurement. There are framework, this brand personality framework, that is the Jennifer Akaya, has defined the 5 types of brand personality, right? For each type, she has given a set of adjectives which describe that personality. And there is a set of scale rate, how strongly the respondent feel that adjective applied to the brand concern. So there is the framework for brand equity, and this was given by the Jennifer Akaya. First is the brand personality framework. This brand personality framework is that each type, that is there are the 5 types of the brand personality, and the adjectives have been given, and there are various adjectives which describes the personality and the types of personality. And there is a set of scale rates, how strongly the respondent feels that adjectives apply to the brand concerned, right? Like brand personality, like sincerity, excitement, competency, sophistication, and ruggedness. Sincerity, like down to earth, family oriented, small town, honest, sincere, real, wholesome, original, and all these are the brand personality. Excitement, daring, right? That is how they describe that brand, right? Excitement, competency, that they are reliable, intelligent, successful, sophistication, ruggedness. So all these are the brand personality. Then the brand report card, right? Keller developed a format for the brand report card using which brand could rate it on the 10 characteristics. Based on the score, the brand's strength and limitation can be identified, providing useful input for turning the brand strategy. So, Keller has defined the brand card through which you can define how strong that brand is. Right? That's all for today. Thank you very much. Namaskar.